Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a little treat for you. This will be the first of many top 5 videos we'll have here on the channel. Top 5s is a new series we'll be starting alongside our main series, Night Watch: A Journey. A series where we make our own video game together as a community with my own ambitions as well as suggestions from viewers like you. Playlist link is in the description. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So Top 5s will be a new series that will air every Wednesday at 1 PM, save for this week's episode, which obviously is airing today. So, let's get into our first top 5 list ever on this channel. What are the top 5 most common game glitches and what can cause them? Roll the intro. So, number 1 is a pretty common one that I'm sure everybody has seen at least once, especially if you love Bethesda games as much as I do. That's right, I'm talking about lackluster writing. Characters getting stuck in Tpose. So we've all been there before. We're playing a game, questing or killing the townspeople, whatever we're in the mood for, then suddenly, bam, there's a casino in your basketball game.
How would you like to suck my balls?
Just kidding. Your character suddenly springs her arms out to their sides, straightens her legs, and starts sliding around the map with their chest puffed out in order to assert their dominance. This is called Tpose. So, what the hell is Tpose, you might ask? Tpose is the default pose that is applied to in-game models so that animators can easily set up their animations. So why do characters sometimes randomly jump into Tpose? Well, this happens when the game doesn't load the animations for the character, thus putting the model in its default pose. This could be for a variety of reasons, like corrupted animation data, errors in coding, animations not loading in properly or fast enough, or just bad game design. What's one way to fix this? Well, it's definitely not the best way, but you could create an idle animation that the model will always default back to if no other animations are applied to the body. Like one that just puts the character in a pose where it looks like he's just waiting for the player to do something with the controller.
Hello, is there anybody in there?
I should go.
Number 2 is another very common glitch, and that is falling through the floor. Ever in the middle of a really tough mission that you've had to restart like 100 times, and then you get that one attempt where you don't waste all your health packs, you've still got plenty of time left on the clock, and you're just about to kill the boss and...
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
So you fell through the floor, did you? Well, yeah. Just kidding. So, why do characters sometimes fall through the floors in games? Well, it has to do with collision mechanics. So, everything in a game, from the characters to the environments, are made of little tiny triangles called polygons. When a character's collision area, usually just an invisible capsule that surrounds the character, comes into contact with these triangles, they're blocked from moving. You all remember the invisible walls in the games we played when we were 6 years old, right? And the invisible walls in Bethesda games we played when we were 23 years old. Technology. Anyways, sometimes when the game has to load a lot of these polygons all at once, like in very detailed environments, it can be difficult for the game to keep up with loading the collision data as you move around the map. What does this mean exactly? Well, if you come into contact with a polygon in the floor that doesn't register your collision, then... Yep, better load up your most recent save from 6 hours ago. No! How do we fix it? Simple. Reduce the number of polygons in environments because the Xbox 360 your uncle gave you is not the same as your older brother's high-end PC. Here's one that everybody has definitely seen before. Flickering textures. This would be a quick one. So why do textures in games flicker? Well, this happens when objects in games, usually walls or floors, overlap each other and the game engine can't determine which object is on top of the other. When this happens to objects in game, they both fight to be on top. And this rapid back and forth is what causes the flickering. This can also happen with face textures, causing them to appear invisible depending on the angle, which can lead to some pretty scary outcomes.
Oh, no, that's a dude, man. I'm up out of here. See y'all, man. I'm gone.
How can we fix this? Simple. Don't overlap objects. Have one start where the other ends. When you lay hardwood flooring, you don't try to shove the wood panels into each other, right? You lay them side by side. It's the same concept. Speaking of scary things, number 4 is one that's given us all nightmares at some time or another. I'm talking about deformed characters. So, why do characters stretch like this? Well, it has to do with character rigs. A character rig, in simple terms, represents the points on the body that can be moved around and manipulated by animations. Common manipulation points are at the joints like the elbows and the knees. When these points aren't where they should be, or corrupted animations are applied to them, they can make it so animations don't work at all. Or they make the animations work too well, and characters bend way further than they should. Sometimes the wrong rig altogether could be assigned to a character, which causes stretching. Like if the rig of an adult character was assigned to a child model, which would be much smaller in size. This would cause the character's limbs to stretch, giving a deformed and overly tall child that will haunt your dreams for years to come. The last of these glitches, and perhaps the most spectacular, is characters being launched into the sky. Ever been hit by a giant while playing Skyrim? If so, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is similar to the falling through the floor issue we discussed earlier. So when two objects go from being separated to occupying the same space in a very quick manner, say like if you were suddenly struck by an object, both your character and the object would be occupying the same space. When this happens, the game engine kind of panics, and the easiest way to fix the problem is to move one of the objects somewhere else as quickly as possible. So, what does the game engine do? So how do we fix this one? F*** if I know.